Alrighty. I'm in my sweatpants. I'm wearing some BB cream and the RMS. Is my mic on? No, Kumi. Don't eat the tree. The tree never did anything to you. I love you. Perfect. Alrighty, welcome back to the AM with Amy. It's a little bit darker because of daylight savings, so we're gonna hope that this goes quite bright and smoothly. So today we're doing a user submitted question. That sounds so robotic, but we're doing a question from Sally Chu on Instagram, and she says, hey Amy, loved your AM with Amy episode. I feel like I definitely struggle with saying no sometimes too. I would love to see an AM with Amy where you talk about tips and tricks for faking it till you make it to becoming an extroverted person. I grew up super introverted and am way less shy now after college. I still struggle with being that social butterfly and am afraid of coming off as awkward or quiet during those first encounters. I remember seeing you once at B-Plate 4 years ago when I was first year at UCLA, and I was like, oh my god, that's Amy Vagabond, but was too shy to say hi. So just saying hi now. First off, hello, I'm so sad you didn't say hi to me at B-Plate. I only ate at B-Plate at UCLA because like that's the, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's taking up all the couch space. You gotta take one side home, girl. Yes, like that. Wow, I didn't bring a mirror. I got this new eyeshadow palette. This is the Cute AF or Yes Please Pressed Powder Shadow Palette, and this is just me in an eyeshadow palette. Like, look at these colors, people. So I love this orange spice one, and then I use this brown one for darkening my shadow mixed with the red one. So I'm getting this with a fluffy brush, but anyways, so I definitely can relate to being an introverted person. The best way that I can say that I overcame it was by pretty much putting myself in a social situation that made me uncomfortable every single week. Now, you don't have to do this every single day. That's probably the fastest way to getting rid of your social anxiety, but I feel like doing it every day kind of would give me too much stress. So once a week, I usually went out every Thursday to a party of some sort or a kickback, and I feel like I really did go out a lot in college. So I did go out every single Thursday, and at parties you definitely meet a bunch of new people. You have to constantly introduce yourself to new people that you've never met before. I feel like that was me going out of my comfort zone because it really did give me so many nerves and anxiety. But I think doing it once a week was in a way that I could prepare for it. Every Thursday I feel like I just knew that I was going to routinely meet new people, so I kind of just prepared myself for it mentally. And by the time I was my junior year, I didn't go out as much, but I definitely got better at meeting new people. So number one, putting yourself in a social situation that kind of puts you out of your comfort zone so you can kind of practice. So I'm gonna do this brown one and this red one. And let's just, oh, I should have used this one. Anyways, so, and then I guess the second thing is learning how to be a better conversationalist. And there's a couple TED Talks that I watched recently that I think would be really helpful if you are an introverted person. It's like 10 ways to be a better listener or to hold a better conversation. I think one of the main things about being a good conversationalist is asking open-ended questions. I think someone would ask me a question in the beginning, I would just be like, what about you? Do you like whatever you asked me about? Or how do you feel about, you know, their question or etc. So I would just kind of just repeat it back, which is a very mechanical robotic response if you're very nervous, which I was. But as I got better and better at it, I realized I love to ask questions that are kind of like interviewee questions. So imagine if you were interviewing your favorite celebrity, what kind of in-depth questions would you want to ask? And it's just, I think part of that is also becoming a very good listener and really trying to understand what the person is saying. So instead of asking yes or no questions, definitely try to ask open-ended questions and really try to people are inclined to like people who like them. So, and people also love to talk about themselves. And this has been psychologically proven by research and stuff like that. So if you're on a first date, you should ask that person a lot about themselves, because people just have positive feelings towards talking about themselves. And it's true, like when you're on a first date and someone never asks about you and just talks about them and them and them, you kind of feel neglected, or you just don't feel as good. So when you talk to somebody new, definitely ask open-ended questions and be a good listener and ask questions about them, and hopefully they will, you know, reciprocate that. Wow, this is such a beautiful color. Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god, I love it. Love this. Getting closer. This is like so I use this one for all over the lid, and then like to make it shiny or highlighty, I put this one all over. I love this palette. It's so affordable too. So okay, for me personally, I think that wasn't the problem for me to like ask questions more in depth. I think for me it was about having a lot of small talk. I think I don't really do well with surface level or superficial questions. I love to know what makes people tick, and what makes them, you know, what makes them thrive in this world. And especially college, you just really have to do a lot of small talk. But I think through small talk you can get to the bigger philosophical questions about what is the meaning of life and stuff like that. So I don't know, just hang in there if you're like me, because I think a lot of introverts really don't value small talk, and so that's something I struggled with. I think people that know me know that I am quite invested in people when I ask them about their life story or just questions about their life. So I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm just doing it right now. This is Colourpop's Lunch Money. It's a beautiful highlighter. I just got a bunch of Colourpop stuff, so this isn't sponsored by them. I don't even think they do sponsored videos because they're so poppin', but I'm just gonna highlight. I don't know why I'm doing this right now. Oh my god. All types of wild today. Eyeliner and eyebrows. Let's do eyeliner. So tip number 3, I guess, I'm not sure if everyone has this, but at least for me, I have an image of myself at my perfect self. I know perfection is unattainable, but it's just kind of like if you could project an image of yourself, what kind of person do you hope to be? I guess my perfect version of myself was someone that just was really, really warm and outgoing and friendly. Whenever I went to social events or whatever, I would just think of myself as becoming the perfect version of me, and what the perfect version of me would be like. And oftentimes our perfect versions of ourselves are often modeled after people we admire. So I guess my closest person that I could admire about being outgoing and warm was my roommate in college. Every time I'd go out with her, she would know exactly what to say. She would just hold an amazing conversation and be so friendly, and she was naturally very extroverted, so I could tell that she did things without even thinking about them. Like, she did not suffer from social anxiety at all. So she was kind of the person that I would model my perfect self to be in that aspect. So in times like that, I would just think, oh, what would my perfect self / my roommate who already has the qualities of my perfect self, what would she do? And so I often like to kind of envision my perfect self, and if that person was here today and how they would go about certain situations. And so it is kind of like a little mind game, but like I would just, like, I don't feel comfortable with hugging people when I first meet them, but I was like, my perfect self or my roommate would just totally just go automatically in for a hug, whether or not someone really wanted it, just because it's so like warm and friendly and outgoing. So eventually, like, now all I do is hug people when I first meet them, and like, I guess that's who I am now, but back then I wasn't so not about hugging. So I guess my third tip would just to be envision yourself as the perfect version of you, and what would that perfect version of you be doing, and how would they be handling a certain situation, or how do you wish that you could handle a certain situation, and then just do it. Easier said than done for sure, but I think with that model in mind, it's a little bit easier. This is my first time using Colourpop eyeshadows, and I freaking love them. This is Bare by Bobbi Brown, and it's a beautiful that color. I'm gonna take this like gold shimmery color and then put it in the inner corner of my eyes. Whoa, that's pigmented. Wow. Guess I could put a little on my nose. that's super pigmented. All right, I guess my fourth and final tip is to remember that most people with social anxiety are feeling the same way as you, if not worse. I think a lot of people have this misconception about me being very extroverted and outgoing, but I'm just really good at faking it, and I feel all types of like jumbledness inside my body. And so I just, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, if you meet me, you wouldn't think that I'm introverted, but I'm definitely introverted just because of the anxiety I feel. So I just think about how there's so many people like me in the world who are just basically faking it till they make it, and how people go out their lives and they feel the same way, and some people can't even make it to the party. Like, some people can't even get out the front door because of their social anxiety, and know that you're not alone and that other people feel the same, if not worse, and that social anxiety is a very common thing. You are not alone, and it sounds so cheesy. You should really be proud of yourself for trying to go outside of your comfort zone and grow as a person, because the last thing you want to be is stagnant. So don't be too hard on yourself, and don't overthink, you know, you're being awkward or quiet or weird. If anything, just smile. That is something that I really have learned. It's like, even if the situation is awkward or you feel awkward, just smile. Like, just smile as if you're having a good time, and it really lightens up the situation. And whenever I feel awkward in a social situation, I'm just like, yeah. And people have no idea. So honestly, just smile and remember that other people feel the exact same way as you, if not more so, and don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I can't express that enough. Like, oh, like, I can't express that enough. Social anxiety sucks, but your girl is living her life as a social butterfly, but in reality, I am just a caterpillar who has yet to make her metamorphosis. I don't really know where this thing is going, but I feel like this highlighter is so dewy. There's a lot of people out there who are thinking they're awkward and quiet or shy, and they're too busy thinking about themselves to really judge you. And the extroverted people really don't care. They're just out there being themselves. So you should just go out there and be yourselves. Don't overthink it. Smile and just have a good time. I know it's hard, but you can do it. All right, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and share any of the AM with Amy's with anyone you think might need, I don't know, this visual podcast. I know a lot of you are asking me to do a podcast, but I can barely keep up with my YouTube channel and Instagram and Twitter and all of that, so I don't want to add another one thing that I can't keep up with. So I hope that this is good. I hope that this is good enough for now, because you can play it on the go, you can play it in your car, you just get the YouTube mobile app, and yeah. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Mwah!